From the Southern Arkansas University Media Center, this is a Student Government Association presidential debate. 4 of the 6 candidates are participating in the event: Spencer Callaway, Arturo Chavez, Harry Dickens, and Charles Walthall. Here's the moderator for the debate, Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Donald Hafner.
Good evening. I'm Donald Hafner, Vice President for Student Affairs at Southern Arkansas University. Tonight we're featuring the Student Government Association Student Body Presidential Election candidates. I'll be serving as moderator for the debates, and on my right is Rosa Jones, who is a representative of the Bray and editor of the student newspaper, the Bray on campus. She'll be asking the questions this evening of the candidates. Those candidates participating in the debate tonight are, from the left, Spencer Callaway, Arturo Chavez, Harry J. Dickens, and Charles Walthall. To begin tonight's questioning and to explain the rules of the debate, I'll introduce Rosa Jones.
Thank you, Dr. Hafner. Candidates, in a minute you will each be given 1 minute, if you choose, to explain your platform and give some of the ideas you have for student government before I begin the questioning. After this, I will ask one question of each of you. You will have 2 minutes to answer this question. Then each of the other candidates, if he chooses, will have 1.5 minutes to give a rebuttal to that question. After this, I have 2 questions prepared which will go to all candidates. You will have 2 minutes to answer the question. After that, I will ask if any candidate has a rebuttal. Each candidate will receive 2 rebuttals for these 2 questions. So each rebuttal is 1.5 minutes long. To begin tonight, Spencer Callaway, would you like to make an opening statement?
Yes, I would. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Spencer Callaway. I'm a sophomore psychology major from Smackover, Arkansas. I'm your 1989-90 candidate for SGA president. If elected this year, I would like to see some changes go into the bylaws of the SGA Constitution, and I would like to see an attempt made to solve some of the problems that the students at SAU seem to be facing, namely those of parking and recreation. I feel that if these problems are handled correctly, that the students may enjoy SAU more, find it easier to park, and have a better time. Thank you.
Okay, Arturo Chavez, who is currently SGA president, would you like to make an opening remark?
Yeah, sure. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow students, more like. My name is Arturo Norio Chavez. I'm known as Taco. I'm from Magnolia, Arkansas. What I plan to do this year is to run again, and I also want to say that I want to help keep our dorms clean. Do that, and I would like to give more recognition for the honor students, and I'd also like to establish better relations between the faculty and students. And I will be a president who will listen to you, because I have experience. I have 2 years experience plus 3 years experience in SGA. Thank you.
Harry Dickens, would you like to make an opening remark?
Yes, thank you. Hello and good evening. My name is Harry Dickens, and I'm a senior music major from Prescott, Arkansas. I'm running for SGA president because I want SGA to be strong. I've seen SGA strong at numerous other campuses, and I want this SGA to be very strong. I want it to go by the Constitution and follow rules that are in the Constitution, and I also want more things to happen here at SAU. We want to renovate our SAB building to make it more useful and things like that, and maybe that will get more people on campus and more people here. That would mean more money for the university to use on things that we really need. Thanks.
And the final candidate in our alphabetical order, Charles Walthall. Would you like an opening remark?
Yes, Rose, I would. The most powerful group of students or rather the most powerful voice on campus is those of students. The most silent voice on campus is also those of students. No one has taken the time to unite the voice and to get the things that we so desperately need here on campus. Spencer brought up a couple of issues, the parking issue and the student activity building issue. I'm a member of the Student Activity Building Renovation Committee, and we've proposed some solutions to the problem. I also came up with a recommendation as to how to solve the parking problem. It was not a popular proposal, but the RHAs picked up on the proposal, modified it, and come out with a viable solution. There are several other things facing us on this campus that I don't have time to go into here. I would like to be the SGA president because we need someone to unite us and make one voice for all students. Thank you.
Let me ask, do all of the candidates understand the procedure for this evening's questioning? Okay, so I will begin with Spencer Calloway. We're doing these in alphabetical order, and you will have 2 minutes to answer the question. As a member of a fraternity, Spencer, do you feel that you could represent Greeks and independents equally? And how would you deal with the conflicts that could arise between that?
Rosa, I believe that if elected, I could equally represent both the Greek and the non-Greek interests on this campus. There is a large Greek influence on this campus, but there is also a very large student influence on this campus. I believe that I could represent them both equally because while I am a Greek, I am also a student, and the two things go hand in hand. So I believe that I could equally represent both, and if given the chance, I hope to do so.
Okay, Arturo Chavez, would you like to have a rebuttal to that remark?
No.
Harry Dickens?
No.
Charles Walthall? Okay, then moving along to Arturo Chavez. How did you handle and how do you feel about complaints that have arisen this year among your executive committee and other members that you were absent from meetings and perhaps did not have the time you should have to put into SGA? And could you explain how you dealt with that?
Okay. This year we've had some problems in student government, but student government has really grown in the past 3 years. The main problem we have is in our executive branches. Right now we've got conflict between the secretary and, they want to get paid. The other officers in the branch want to get paid. The problem is we can't pay them, therefore they don't want to do the job, and that leaves me to do all the job alone at times. And another problem is my absences. I missed 2 meetings this year. One was because of illness. Another one is I have a sister who was sick. I don't think I feel that I should have to say what for, but she was, it's like life and death situation. I put my family before student government, and then, student government comes by. But I don't feel that you should punish a student for missing something like that. I mean, things come up. Anyway, I think student government's really growing now. We've come up to 30 people per attendance. And from an attendance of 5 to 6 when I started back in '86. And I think it's still growing because look at the people who want to run now, There's a lot of more people who want to run and want to get involved in student government. So I think we've accomplished our mission as, I would say. Thank you.
Spencer Calloway, would you like to make a rebuttal statement to that?
No, thank you, Rosa.
Harry Dickens? Charles Walthall?
No, thank you.
Okay, then Harry Dickens, I have a 2-part question for you. First of all, in a questionnaire that you returned to me for purposes of the BRA, you stated that you would like to improve SAU's food service. I would like to know how you would propose to do that, and also because you have been an RA and lived on campus all of your college career, how do you feel that you could represent commuters?
First of all, the first part of the question, how could I improve the food service? The food service, it can be improved. The food's not bad. It's not killing anyone. But the only way to improve it is to have a strong food committee. We have a food committee right now, and they're not meeting. They're not giving input from the students at all. And that's the only way that we can improve the food service. And I'd like to be more picky on choosing people to be on a food service committee. And I want people who would say what they want to say. Second part of the question. Okay, commuters are off campus. I've been on campus, I think, 2.5 years. I've lived off campus, and I know how different it is. And I think I've lived my first year and a half, I stayed off campus. I think I have enough background on living off campus to represent the commuters also. Thanks.
Spencer Calloway, would you like to make a rebuttal statement to that?
Yes, Rosa, I would. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say something about the food services at SAU. I live on campus and I've eaten here for about the past 2 years. And sometimes the food is bad, to tell you the truth. The methods and preparations of the food aren't always consistent from day to day. I believe that things could be done to make this consistent and possibly to improve the food. Upstairs in the UC, a lot of students choose to get the meal transfer where they can simply just eat there instead of eating downstairs. Sometimes there have been an entire line of students, and there would be one woman or possibly two up there trying to serve this entire group of students, and it's not an easy thing to do. So I believe that there could be a lot done to improve the food services at SAU. Thank you.
Arturo Chavez, would you like to make a rebuttal?
Yes, please. Real quick, the food service, for starters, we're student government. Student government does not really have that much to do with the food service. I mean, we are the voice, but then again, I mean, get the real picture. We can't do anything. The only way that we can do anything is by pay more money. And if the students are willing to pay more money, that's the only way we're going to get more or better quality of food. The food, it's good. I mean, not everyone likes it because everyone's used to mom's home cooking. But you got to remember, once you go away, you got to get adjusted to new things. And that's one of the problems that I don't see as a major problem on campus. As for commuters, I think the only way that you can really get to know the commuters is to go out there, be energetic, and say, hello, my name is, Taco, and I am here at SAU, and how do you like it here? Just go out there and meet the people. And yes, they will react to that. Everyone, likes to meet a friendly person. And that's the way I would do with commuters. Not just, oh, I think I know 'em. But go out there and meet them. Thank you.
And Charles Walthall, would you like to make a rebuttal?
Rose, I'd also like to make a request that you call me Chip. That seems to be the nickname that I picked up along the way. It's interesting to me that 3 of the other candidates that are here tonight aren't happy with the food service. I've been to 3 of the last 4 food service committee meetings, and Kelly's trying to make me a member of that committee. I haven't seen any of these faces there voicing complaint as to the quality of food. I personally think Kelly does a wonderful job with the amount of money that's allocated for him to provide food. He's provided $2.65 per day per student. That's not a lot of money, but he does a pretty good job. I hear a lot of complaints as to the quantity and not to the quality. Seconds is a problem, and there are a few other things that he has to deal with every day because he doesn't have the money that he needs to provide the kind of quality food that the students here want. I do believe there are some changes that he can make. He's made every change that I've asked from him, and he's willing to listen, and he's willing to improve. All you have to do is show up to the meetings. They're usually on Thursday afternoon about 3 o'clock. Tell him what you want, and he'll make the change if he can. Thank you.
Okay, all candidates have been given their rebuttal time, and now we move on to the question directed for Chip Walthall. You stated in your opening remarks that you feel that you could make students have a voice, and students on this campus feel that they have no voice, even through student government. What would you do with the administration to give the students a voice?
Rosa, one of the first things that you have to do is you have to be willing to listen to everybody and to make changes. The administration wants us to get organized. They want to hear a single voice from the mass of students. There's basically 2,100 students go to school here. 1,400 of those are commuters, and 700 basically are resident students. The major problem that we have right now is there's no one leading this pack of students. There are a bunch of fringe groups going off in their own little directions, and the person that has been entrusted with the care of their interest, it's been said that he doesn't show up to meetings, and that the meetings are in chaos when he does show up. We're paying this person a salary as, per se, to try to motivate people to ask them questions by surveys or by ballot referendums. As SGA president, I think that I could do a better job unifying the voice of students on this campus.
Spencer Callaway, do you care to make any rebuttal statement to that?
Nothing.
Arturo Chavez?
Yes, please. The question, better leadership in student government. It came up once again. I don't really feel, I guess I will have to state why I was absent. Chip Walthoff, I have to address it to you. My sister has AIDS, and I had to go to the house to take care of things like that. Now, it's a shame I have to state that because I really feel that it's personal and I don't have to. But, I mean, that's the only way to, I guess, get you off my back, and that's only one meeting out of the 2 meetings. 2, our meetings are not in chaos. Our meetings, there was only 1 meeting that you came to that was in chaos because you came and it was, you were not prepared. I'm sorry that you weren't prepared for the meeting, and you just didn't know what to go on, and you just brought up all these questions that came out of, I don't know where. But our meetings usually go well run. We got an agenda, and our meetings are open to the public. If those who don't, those who want to can come to the meetings and voice your opinion there at student government. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
And Harry Dickens, would you like to make a rebuttal?
No, thanks.
Okay, now we'll enter the time when I ask 2 questions. These will be directed at all candidates. You will each answer, and then this is the section in which you will be given 2 rebuttals. You can choose to rebut any one statement. You can hold them until the very end. It's up to you. So I will state the question once, and then I will call on each of you and ask for rebuttals. When it comes your turn, if you want me to repeat it, just ask me, and I will repeat the question. The first question that I would like to ask each of you: how do you plan to increase the image of SGA and the student interest in SGA? What specific plan would you have to do this? Spencer Callaway.
One of the main problems faced by SGA right now is its lack of organization. SGA has approximately 25 to 30 charter organizations beneath it, which are usually uninformed as to the dealings with SGA. I believe that a good solution to this would be possibly a newsletter and a sign box in the post office, because as of now, I believe they're being sent to the president of every organization, which currently changes from year to year. So communication is a big problem. And I believe that with a little restructuring of the internal works of SGA, that it could come together as a more powerful force at SAU. Thank you.
Would anyone care to make a rebuttal on that? Okay, Arturo Chavez, same question.
Oh, great. What would I do to increase the attendance there at student government? More or less the same thing I'm doing right now. We're putting up big painted posters up in the UC, and we're also painting them down there in the cafeteria. Apparently it's working because the attendance has grown. We're also sending letters to those representatives to each chartered organization that's under our charter. Second, I feel that if the president of their organization can't keep up with our things, I don't feel it's our problem. It's their president's problem for not keeping up, keeping their representative informed. And I would like also to put in a newsletter in the Beret, the school paper, because I feel that we need a column there also. And I could say it's already the same. Just open it up like we're doing and just keep on the same track we're doing. 'Cause it's working, I mean. numbers are growing.
Would anyone care to make a rebuttal to that? Okay, Harry Dickens, same question.
Well, first of all, I think to make SGA more known, we need more activities with SGA's name on it. We need more than, we have 2 activities now. We have homecoming and spring fling with SGA's name on it. I don't think that's enough. And a newsletter would be great. Something in the paper letting people know what's happening in SGA, what we did at the last meeting. Anything that will let people know would be great. You know, getting the word out, we're here working for you. Anything like that would, you know, let them know that we're doing something. Thank you.
Any rebuttals to that? Okay, and Charles Walthall. Chip.
Thanks, Rosa. How would I increase the participation in the SGA? The SAB Renovation Committee, which I'm a member of, we've asked to be placed on the ballot, a referendum, asking students whether or not they would support an increase in the activities fee. This increase in the activities fee would provide some equipment immediately for the use by students, and it would also create a fund for improving the facilities that we now have over the long term. We have to get the students involved. One of the primary focuses of my campaign is to try to get students out to vote. Last year the election was decided by 400 students. That's approximately all that came out to vote. We have 2,100 students that go to school here. That's a very discouraging number. If we could get more people out to vote in the election, and we ask them pertinent questions when they come out, then we can decide the future and the direction of this campus. It's not how to get people interested in SGA. It's how to get them interested in SAU, to get them to participate in all the activities of the university, to get them to go to basketball games, to get them to go to football games, to get them to go to baseball games. Let's not limit it just to SGA. Let's build a better SAU, and we can start on Election Day. I'd like to take about the last 30 seconds that I have here to defend the executive branch of the SGA. They are not here to get paid other than the president. I know all the members now, the vice president, Ike, the secretary, and the other officers. They are here to try to do a good job. They can't with the system that they have now. Thank you.
Would anyone like to make a rebuttal to that? Okay, now to my final blanket question to every candidate, and I believe if we have time left that we will go back into the general questions to each one of you after this. Each of you still have 2 rebuttals remaining. SAU has quite a large minority population. What do you feel the role of minorities at SAU and in SGA should be compared to what it is now? Spencer Calloway.
Well, Rosa, yes, you're correct. There is quite a few minorities on this campus with our foreign students and everything else. I believe that they're just as important as anyone. I mean, they're students too. It's not SGA is not set up for white students or black students or students from the Middle East. It's set up for students, period. I believe that anyone who is qualified for SGA should be on SGA regardless of their national origin. I don't believe that that is an issue. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Would anyone like to make a rebuttal? Okay, Arturo Chavez. Same question. The question is, what do you feel that the role of minorities in student government and at SAU should be compared to what it is now, because we have such a large population of minorities here?
Minorities. It was my knowledge, man. I kind of found out this year that I was one myself. Surprised. Anyway, I think the role of minorities here is really, at SAU, is pretty much equal. I see the student government working as an equal. There is no black and there is no white. They're just people. Everybody, in my eyes, and in student government's eyes, and I can speak for the whole student government, sees it that way. We don't have that problem here in our organization. And I think if we branch out, we can probably solve that problem out here on campus. But the minority problem is not a minority problem. I think the only thing we can do with it is just to let it grow more, okay? And get other, people together. Thank you.
Would anyone like to make a rebuttal? Okay, Harry Dickens.
Minority problems. Minority problems shouldn't be anything major on this campus. If you want to say something, you have the right to say it. And it's like, if you want something done, if you're a minority, you don't have a right to go and sit down and you do this for me. If you want something done for yourself, I think you should stand up and do it. I mean, don't expect somebody to say, okay, it's Black History Month, so SGA is going to do something. If they want, not saying they, if somebody wants somebody to do something for them, they need to come and ask and say that we want this done and let's do it, not sit back and wait for somebody to do it for them.
Thank you very much. Any rebuttals to that? Okay, and finally, Charles Walthall. Chip.
Rosa, you were pretty unspecific as to what a minority is. Residents on this campus are a minority. They make up 33% of the students. Blacks are a minority. They make up 17%. And men make up a minority. They make up 46%. When I look at a student, I don't look at him and I don't decide that he's from the Mideast. I don't decide that he's black. I don't decide that he's a female. I look at them and I decide that they're a person. They have the same rights and privileges that we all have. I don't segregate them, and I don't look down upon them because of their race, their creed, or their national origin. I'm interested in them as a person. I'm interested in what they have to say and what their needs are. That's what the SGA president has to do. He can't look at them as a minority. He has to look at them as a person. Thank you.
Are there any rebuttals to that? Okay, we'll move on into some extra question time. Spencer Calloway, once again, you can each have a chance to have a rebuttal to any of these questions, as in the first section. Spencer Calloway, you stated in your questionnaire that you turned in that you can make a difference. How can you do this? How can you make the difference that none of the other candidates can do?
Rosa, I'm up against some fine people here. I'm not saying that I'm better than any of them. I don't believe that I'm worse than any of them. I feel that I possess the leadership qualities that it takes. I possess the sense of empathy that it takes to just communicate and understand the problems that people have from day to day at SAU. I think that I could be a good president if elected, and if I am, I will try hard to do so. Thank you.
Arturo Chavez, would you like to make a rebuttal statement to that?
No, thank you.
Harry Dickens?
No, thanks.
And Chip Walthall.
No, thank you, Rosa.
Okay, Arturo Chavez, you've been SGA president for, I believe, 1.5 years now, and before that you were on the organization. In your tenure in office, what would you say has been your single most important accomplishment during all this time?
As for accomplishments, I really can't just say one specific one. I've got 2 or 3, really 3 that are really major. We started the renovation for the Student Activities Building. We also started the escort service for SGA, which will be sponsored next year by our traffic security cops and stuff like that. So they're going to start that next semester. So we're going to free walk across campus without getting, mugged. So, and we've also, each year, the spring fling gets bigger and bigger, and more people are getting involved, and that's really good. Those are the 3 main things I say that that I feel really good about that the student government has done for SAU, because it's given, people a chance to get involved in the student government.
Okay, Harry Dickens, do you have a rebuttal remark to that? And Chip Walthall? And Spencer Calloway. Okay, Harry, You mentioned in your opening remarks that we should follow the rules in the Constitution. You mentioned that the Constitution should be followed and that it would make it stronger. How have the rules not been followed, and how do you feel that could be changed by your presidency?
Not saying follow. I mean, the Constitution needs to be made more clear in some areas. It's a strong Constitution, something, if we go by it, and if everything is ran by the Constitution, everything runs smooth in the meeting. I mean, you don't have a lot of flack coming on from this end or flack over there. Everything goes real great. It's like, I don't know, I think one thing that Kim Gover saw in the Constitution, like that everyone should have their, what's it called, the little sheet that we turn in to register to be a candidate in at least 10 days before. I think we've had some maybe 9 days before. Things like little things that make up a lot in the long run. That's it, thanks.
And Chip Walthall, would you like to make a rebuttal statement?
Rose, I'd like to add a little bit to that if I could. Harry brought up following the Constitution. The Constitution for SGA right now has a lot of loopholes in it. It's very unspecific in great detail. SGA has been attempting to work on correcting the Constitution, and they have also tried to, Raymond Gilbert has tried to have passed some bylaws by which the SGA should function. Right now there are no bylaws, and they're winging it by the SGA Constitution. I believe the President, in the last year and a half or 2 years, should have taken some kind of initiative before now to try to correct the things that are wrong with the Constitution. The Constitution itself needs a lot of work. Someone needs to sit down, figure out what needs to be added, bring up the changes so that the Senate can vote on it, and have those changes implemented. Thank you.
Okay. And Chip, is there Spencer Callaway rebuttal? Arturo Chavez rebuttal?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
SGA's bylaws have really been going, gotta admit, kind of crazy. But that's because the reason we didn't start the bylaws a year ago is our organization was small enough that it would run under the present Constitution. But now the organization has really gotten bigger and a lot more people are getting involved. Therefore, now we need the bylaws in order to run an efficient student government. So we've been tossing that up and down. And we just now today got it all typed up, fixed up, where the bylaws and the Constitution are going to coincide together. That's the main problem we've had. The amendments, not the bylaws, that Raymond Gilbert presented at the student government were in flaw in some ways because you had to send it to other organizations, IGC, RHA, and CAB. It's got to be in their Constitution also before we are able to put it in our Constitution, or else it would be, something like asking Russia to, hey, let's put this in, you got to have their permission. And we also need to work on Robert's Rule of Order. And with time, I think we can all achieve that. Because, if we were professional, we'd probably be running some other place. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, I believe you've all had your rebuttals now. Okay, Chip Walthall. People have noticed your signs around campus. Some of them your recent ones in the University Center, lead people to believe that you are going to change things with the legislature. Are the signs being misconstrued, or do you actually have a plan in mind to increase the SGA's participation in Arkansas state government?
Rosa, two of the posters that you're referring to, one of them states that it's a letter to Dr. Brinson that says that the state legislature thinks that we're a joke, basically. During the legislative session, the last one, they held our budget as hostage as part of another amendment. It basically shows a lack of respect for us as an institution. I don't know why that is. I believe that we're a fine institution, and I believe that we rate right up there with the quality of education that all the other universities within the state provide. I know that we have an accredited business department. I know that University of Arkansas Monticello does not. That says a lot for us. I know that we have one of the best English departments in the state. We rival right up there with the University of Arkansas itself. I don't know why the legislature wants to hold us hostage. I put those two posters in the corner closest to where all the teachers sit, because I know that there are a lot of debates go on in that corner. There are a lot of educated people that sit there. I wanted them to know that at least one student knows what's going on in the state legislature. I know that we're supposed to get a new fine arts building. The state has approved that project but has not funded it. That means basically that yes, we can have it whenever they decide to give us the money. It's not that I can change the legislature. I know that Dr. Brinson can. I know that the faculty can. I know that the people within Arkansas can vote to tell the legislature that we want a little more out of them than giving Oakland a tax break. We want our children educated. We want more money to go to universities so that we can have a better education and that we'll be better qualified to face the world once we graduate. It has to start somewhere, Rosa, and I think the students are a good place for it to start.
Okay, this was our last question. Do any of you have a rebuttal that you would like to make to that? Arturo?
No, thank you.
And Harry? Okay, I would like to thank each of these candidates for participating in this debate this evening. And I would like to inform the viewers that our elections are Wednesday, April the 12th, and they will be in two places. Residents can vote in the University Center, and commuters can vote in front of Wilson Hall. Thank you for watching this evening.
You've been watching the Student Government Association presidential debate brought to you from the Southern Arkansas University Media Center. This program was videotaped April 4th for playback at this time. The election takes place Wednesday, April 12th. Executive producer and director of the debate is Jim Reppert, a faculty member of the SAU Department of Theater and Communication. Production assistance provided by John Henderson and Rex Williams, who were broadcasting majors at SAU. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to vote.